YouTube! Ritual Beast Part 2 is here. Now, first, before I start this off, I want to give a huge shout out to Top Deck Yu-Gi-Oh! At Yu-Gi-Oh! Chu, Fidgix, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, my brother Whirlwind, Axe Mango, all the Ritual Beast gods here. And I want to give a huge shout out to all my brothers, Steven, Crimson, Mixiola, who's on VC with me every morning, JG, Quantum Cubes, Grand Harrier, Icy, Psy, Draft. And she's like a sister to me. So thank you for all that you do. You guys are some of my biggest inspiration in the whole community. With that being said, let's go on. Alright, so Ritual Beast. There are a lot of different combos. There are a lot of different things. I'm going to go over how to play 3 hand traps. So just bear with me. This is going to be a little bit of a long video, but I'm going to have timestamps to it, so just pay attention. Also, key terms in the top right. SBL is Spiritual Beast Tamer Lara. OG is Originals. Kanahawk Loop is Kanahawk Loop. Raw search is to send to for the normal search of Ulti Kanahawk. Now, very important. Also, well, not very important, but I got. We're going to be doing a rated climb, so make sure you do that. We're already at 1541. We're going to be trying to go for a top 5% again for the 3rd season, but this time I'm going to do it on stream. So I got top 5% the last 2 seasons in a row. I didn't have much time to play stage 2, otherwise I probably would have went further than I did. I stopped at like 21K, 22K. I don't remember exactly, but I didn't have much time to play. But yeah, so that being said, let's get into the video. Okay, so this is the 1-card Rampengu line. This is an alternative line. This is not the main line of combos, so just keep that in mind. This one you need Petalfin, Colossus, and Nemesis Corridor. But it is a very good combo to run, especially if you're playing Eclipse, because in the case where you normal summon Pengu, you could start playing around Imperm a lot more. You have more outs to it. Okay, so with that being said, let's start this off. We're going to normal summon Pengu. Now, the easiest way to remember your Ritual Beast combos is to remember a general perspective of where all the lines go. There's about 10 basic Ritual Beast lines you need to know before you start getting around how to play around hand traps. So I'm going to go over most of the basic ones that you're going to see. Okay? So what you're going to do is you need to know that Pengu always ends with Winda and Rampengu in the banished pile as a starting point, with Lara being sent to the graveyard. So be very careful. I should say SBL going to the graveyard. Okay, so that's very important. If you're going for Kanahawk, you're always searching when, so that's a good indication of where you're going to go. If you're going for a Lara Kanahawk line, that's going to get you into your, what can I think of the name off the top of my head? That's going to get you into Sephira and Pilika. So that's something you need to think about. So just get a general knowledge of where all the lines are going as a general perspective, depending on whether you start with Pengu or Kanahawk. That will help you out a lot. The more you play it, will also help you out a lot, and you'll start remembering these things, including the amounts of times you special summon your Ritual Beast out of the banish pile. So next, we're going to activate Rampengu. Rampengu's effect is going to banish either a second Ray or a second Kim and Falcons, depending on whatever you decided to run. And then we're going to send SBL. Then SBL, we're going to banish that from the graveyard along with Rampengu to summon out Ultinochi Drago. Next, we're going to activate SBL's effect to summon Kanahawk out of the deck. Then with Kanahawk on the field, we're going to go ahead and banish our Winda. Okay. Then we're going to use Ultinochi, tag that out, to summon out SBL. Now, the reason why we want to summon SBL here is we want to set up a rank 4. And that's going to be with our Winda and Rampengu once we do our Ulti Kanahawk line. Now, very important here. Ulti Kanahawk, okay? Now, I'm going to teach you why you could cheat with Kanahawk. How do you cheat? How do they search 1 even though it says you have to send 2? Well, Ulti Kanahawk says you can target 2 of your banished Ritual Beast cards, return them to the graveyard after you do search a Ritual Beast card. However, them does not specify the targets that need to go on resolution. So, for example, if you send 1 card to the graveyard, it will never check if you sent 2. It'll just check if 1 goes there. If it said those, then it will check for 2. But because it says them, we can cheat around this factor. I'm going to show you in visualization. So, with Toggle Order to Honor, Cell Chain on, make sure you do this or you're going to really be in trouble. Alright, it will not work, and you'll just send 2 to the graveyard. You'll be looking like a fool. There are times you do want to send 2 to the graveyard, especially once I talk to you about Dimension Shifter. But we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about, in hindsight, of not using Dimension Shifter at all. We're just using this. So we're going to activate Ulticonal's effect, and we're going to target 1 monster we want to summon and 1 monster we don't. Now keep in mind, when you use Rampengu, you do banish Ritual Beast extra deck monsters that cannot be properly summoned. Those you can send to the graveyard, as well as spell traps like Inheritance or Steeds. Those can also go to the graveyard as well. And main deck monsters. But we don't want to do that here, and you're going to see that why that's very important when we do this line. Okay. So, the only way you could cheat past that is if you open it up as a 2 card. Say you open up like Petalfit and Pangu, or you open up something like, you open up Inheritance Pangu, but then you're just searching Elder, so you're not even doing this line anyway. But if you open up like Petalfin Pangu, then you could cheat this and send Laura to the graveyard. Or if you open up something like, well, you would send Laura at a different time, so you wouldn't even send it there. But if you open up something like Noble Knight Shieldbearer, if you play it, then you can, because then the Nemesis will set return Shieldbearer, and then you can put Laura in the graveyard for follow-up. So that's something you want to keep in mind, just in case that ever comes up. But in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to target our Ulti Ravatari, which we're not going to summon because it's not properly summoned from the extra deck. Don't try it. And then we're going to target Rampengu, which has been which we can summon. So you could also target Winding Air, and that's fine. So that's Chain Link 1. We're summoning Pangu. We're not summoning Ulti Ravatari. Then Chain Link 2, we're going to chain out Conahawk and target 2 monsters we do want to summon. Now, very important here, if your opponent has skill drain, or the Ritual Beast plays has skill drain, would it work? The search would, yes, and the tag out would, because Ulticonahawk will resolve off the field once it returns to the extra deck. Just like a Lone Fire Blossom or a Planet Pathfinder, if it would have hit the graveyard, it would still work because they tribute as cost and they dodge before resolution can happen. Resolution never occurs on field. It's the same thing. It's not the same thing for Baguska, though. If you have Baguska on the field, it's great in the mirror, because if they try to take out Ulticonahawk or Ulti-Kim and Falcos, that will not work because it negates activated effects on the field. So as long as it's activated on the field, it will not be able to resolve no matter the location upon resolution. Okay. So now we are going to be able to tag out into Winda and into Rampengu. And then Ulticonahawk will get to search out here in Elder. Okay. Next, we're going to activate Rampengu's effect, and Rampengu is going to go ahead and send our Ulti Apaleo to the graveyard, to the banish pile, to send Apaleo to the grave. So if you missed my part 1, Pengu is like Reinhardt. It's essentially Reinhardt, where it just mills out anything Foolish Burial to the graveyard, and then sets up a fusion play that you will do later on. But yes, but that's basically what that is in a nutshell. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and make Banshee. Now with Banshee's effect, you're going to go ahead and search Flag. Now, again, I'm not going to search off Flag because we drew Corridor. I'm trying to show you that this is a 1-card combo. Then we're going to use our Flag to return Ulti Paleo, and then we'll use our Corridor here to return our Laura. Now, very important, if you do want this to be a 2-card combo, you can absolutely pick up Protoss here with the Flag. But again, showing you it's a 1-card combo, I'm not going to do that. Another thing here is, if you open up like Petalfin in addition, right? Let's say you opened up like Petalfin Pangu. Then, in that case, you would just banish Gaia Paleo beforehand, sending Laura to the graveyard. And then use Laura in graveyard, you would return the second Ulti Ray, and then just go about it doing it that way. And then you would have Laura in the graveyard, which would end up being better for you, but that is a 2-card line. Next, and this is very important application to know when you play Ritual Beast, is you need to learn how to climb to Ravatari no matter what. Figure out the path to Ravatari. It's like Dora the Explorer with the map. Alright? So we're going to figure out a way. And the way is we're going to link off Corridor and our Banshee. Remember, Banshee summon, we control Pyro, we can summon it. And because we do control our Flag, and we are banishing a Pyro, we can summon it. Now, we have a path to Ravatari. Ravatari is just 3 effect monsters. It does not need a 4th effect monster. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and plop out our Ulti Ravatari. Now Ulti Ray gives us that additional normal summon as well as adding Kanahawk to the from our banished pile to the end. This is why it's very important that we have Kanahawk in the banished pile. We do not want it in the deck. Now we're going to follow up with a simple line of Elder and Kanahawk, the El Clasico, as that says. And then we are going to activate Kanahawk's effect, banishing Petalfin. Then we are going to go ahead and pick up a search. So what are we going to search here? Now remember, targeting one card we want to summon, one we don't, which will be our Elder. Our Kanahawk we already summoned earlier off of Spiritual Beast Tamer Lara. So this will be Elder and Petalfin. And then here we're going to go ahead and search Kanahawk. You're going to say, why Kanahawk? And you missed the opportunity to summon Colossus earlier when you got rid of Corridor. No, because it can be any Thunder monster, as long as it's not a fusion. And Kanahawk is not a fusion. You can't use Ulti Kanahawk to summon it. Don't try it. Next, we're going to go ahead and link off Elder and Petalfin to summon Keeman Falcos. With Keeman Falcos' effect, we're going to go ahead and banish a Paleo to summon Kanahawk out of the hand. We're going to use Kanahawk's effect to banish Lara. And then we're going to tag out our Ulti Keeman Falcos into Lara Apaleo. Now make sure when you make Colossus, you do not use the Kanahawk to fusion summon it to your Ulti Kanahawk, because otherwise it won't work. Here we can activate this, and as long as we have enough follow-up, we can just banish Winda. And then we can make our Colossus. And then, from here, we'll make our Ulti Kanahawk. We'll send 2 to the grave. I like to keep Lara in the banished pile here because I like to add it back for follow-up if our Ray survives. Also, what's nice about this is, like I said, if we have plenty of fodder to Nochi with, and then we just end on this. So we have Colossus, Ray, and Steeds all off of one card. So that's very, very nice. Again, why you're seeing 2 cards here is because we already opened up our Corridor. So that's why you're seeing that we use 2 cards instead of 1. Now, what's also cool here is you can summon Gaia Paleo if you so heartily desire. And how would you do that? Well, once you make your, what you would do there is instead of searching Kanahawk, you would search Lara. And then you would make your Ulti Keeman Falcos. And then Keeman Falcos would summon Lara to summon a Paleo. And then with those 3, you would make Gaia with having Ulti Ray Retaria in the field. If you have like a Ritual Beast stacked hand. So if you have a hand stacked with like Ritual Beast randomly, you could do that as well as another option just in case you want it. Also, instead of making, at the end of that combo, you could also alternately opt to go Baguska instead of making your Colossus. So that's also a play if you really wanted to do that. This also could get you a 1-card Baguska line if you feel you'd rather do that. But just as a general perspective, you have multiple options to go to in accessibility with this combo line. So that is your 1-card Pengu alternative line. Alright. Next. Alright. 1-card Hawk. Alright. So pay very close attention. Do not mind the shifter that's in the hand. You know I'm summon Kanahawk. I'm going to activate Kanahawk's effect. This is going to banish SBL. Lara effect is going to summon out standard Lara. There are 2 lines for this. This is your normal line. We're going to make Ulti Kanahawk. And again, I'm not going to go over the loop every time. We're going to target Lara and SBL. Again, we do not want to summon regular Lara because we've already summoned her. So we're going to summon SBL and Kanahawk to the field. So we're going to Kanahawk loop here. Next, we are going to go ahead and search Wen. Remember what I said, whenever you start off with Kanahawk, you're generally searching Wen. Next, Kanahawk's going to go ahead and banish Renpengu. Then we're going to link these 2 off into our Keeman Falcos. We're going to activate Keeman Falcos to go ahead and banish the Kanahawk, very important that you have this in the banish pile because you're going to get to Elder and Kanahawk later on. With this, we're going to summon Rampengu. Unless you feel like they're trying to force an imperm on Kim and Falcos, which many players won't, you want to hold Nochi Drago because you're going to get less ceiling value if you did it now as opposed to if you held it. Now, next, we're going to go ahead and activate Rampengu to send a Paleo. Then we are going to go ahead and make our Ulti Nochi Drago. I like to keep SBL in the graveyard here. Then we can go ahead and get our search. Keep in mind, we have yet to summon out Elio and Wen. And here, we will get Elder. You could also summon Winda there first. That's also a play. Gives us a little bit more advantage, so you'd rather summon Winda generally. But, just for the case I'm showing you. Next, we're going to add back Kanahawk. Don't pay attention to the other Kanahawk that's an and. If you have another Kanahawk, you can add back Laura to answer somebody's question before they try to scold me in the comments. Now, we're going to go ahead and banish Winda here. And we're going to summon Ulti Kanahawk. Activate Ulti Kanahawk's effect. Here, we will send Pangu back to the graveyard. I want Pangu back in the graveyard here. I don't want to put Laura back because, like I said, I like having it banished for follow-up. Alright, we summoned Kanahawk already. Okay. So don't put Kanahawk back in the graveyard. Target something else. We just threw a Kanahawk back in the graveyard for no reason. So we could target Pangu there and then target the Winda. Because we didn't need to. Because I even tripped up and forgot we summoned Kanahawk. But it makes no difference, really, what we're going to do. Next, we'll add Steeds. And now if we want to go for the Protoss line, we can do this. And the flag. Activate the flag. Well, I guess we won't have anything else. Normally, Kanahawk would be in the banish. We return the Kanahawk and we keep the Lara banished there, but it's fine either way.
Know that the burner's going. Okay.
Next, we can extend here and make an IP if we want to. And then we can summon Protoss. Keep Laura in the graveyard. And then if you go up against, say, Tempai, Protoss, call fire, and voila. So that's just an example. You could also make Baguska with that line. You do not need to go for the Banshee. You could just make a Baguska and end on Steeds, Baguska, and Ravatari plus whatever text you have. And that's very solid with a ton of follow. So that's just a few things you can do. You can make Gaia on this line. There's a lot of things you can do. Okay, so that's your one card Kanahawk basic line. Alright, we're moving along here, children. Alright. I'm going to do this while the grass is hot to say. Not that grass is hot. It's a terrible thing. While the hands are working for me. Alright. Combo number 3. Now, again, keep in mind this is a 2-card combo. I'm just using this so that way I don't have to be here the whole day. Elder Kanahawk. Normal summon Elder. I'm going to summon Kanahawk. Kanahawk to banish Laura. SBL, I should say. Now, very important. Do not trigger Spiritual Beast Tamer Laura here. As much as you would be triggered intrigued to do so, you do not want to do that. I see so many Ritual Beast players make this mistake. You're going to chain block to play around Ashe later on. So, at this point, we've already checked for imperm because we're going to know if they have imperm or not. If they decide to imperm here, they are a fool. I'm going to tell you exactly what to do if they imperm you on an Elder Kanahawk line. Or an Elder Pangolin line. So, let me just discuss this to you. So let's say, alright, we got impermed on Kanahawk. Uh-oh, what do we do? Well, very simple. All you're going to do is you're going to send Elder and Kanahawk to the graveyard if you get impermed. And then you're going to make Nochi Drago. And then you're going to tag out your ulti Kanahawk into Elder Hawk, which you will already have a search off the raw search. Once you do the once you send Elder and Kanahawk to the graveyard, you're going to raw search your Wen. Then you're going to make Nochi Drago, then tag the ulti Kanahawk out into Elder Kanahawk, banish Pangu, and then make Kim and Falcos summon Wen into Pangu. So you get hit at that point. And again, that brings up another issue, is that if they do not hit your ulti Kanahawk, then they're already going to be too late to do anything with at that point. So if they don't hit your ulti Kanahawk and they have like a secondary imperm, which you could still get around because you can go tag out into Elder Kanahawk, banish SBL, and then SBL effect to even still get around 2 imperms Veilers at that point, just with Elder Kanahawk alone. But if they don't hit you at that point and they let you get Nochi Drago on the field, then nothing else on the field, no other Ritual Beast cards can be targeted. So you need to keep that in mind. It is very, 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 very important here if you want to master Ritual Beast, okay? So keep that in mind. Alright, now, we're going to activate, continue on with this line. We're going to activate Ulti Kanahawk's effect. We're going to target the Elder and the Lara. So Lara's going to go to the grave. We're going to summon out Elder and Kanahawk. And then here, we're going to pick up Wen. When are we going to pick her up? Now. Okay, that was really bad. Here, Mix, if you're watching this video, this is for you. Alright? Next, we're going to activate Kanahawk's effect, and we're going to banish Rampangu. Next, we're going to make our ulti Kim Falcos. And this is where we chain block. So if they have an Ash Blossom, and we've already read that they do, we're going to banish SBL to summon out Wen. And then use SBL, Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2 Wen, to summon back our Rampangu. And then SBL will go ahead and summon our Winda. Next, we'll activate Rampangu's effect. Here, we are not sending a Paleo. We're going to banish either a second Ray or a second Kim and Falcos, depending on what you play. And we're going to send another SBL. Then, we're going to make Nochi Drago using our Kanahawk and our SBL. Then from here, we are going to make our Infernal Flame Banshee. Banshee effect. Detach Winda. Add our flag. Next flag effect, return our Rayatari. Then flag effect, we'll add our Protoss or Colossus, depending on what you want to end on. Again, alright, we're going to assume a generic field to put out the best we can. We're going to go for Colossus, if you decide to play. If you don't play it, then play Protoss. Because there are people who don't play the Colossus. Depending on what you play. Preference. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to link off, and you're going to say, we're not going to be able to summon Flag later. I'm going to say, cool your jets. I'm going to add Rayatari. Rayatari effect. We're going to take back Kanahawk. This is why you want Kanahawk back in the banish pile. Very, very important here. Get used to doing it. We're going to summon Kanahawk. Activate Kanahawk's effect to banish the Paleo. Like I said in the first part of my video, all your Spiritual Beast effects are soft once per turn. So as many times as you can flip up or summon Kanahawk, you can use its effect. Same goes for Petalfin, Paleo, and Pangu. So next we're going to activate our effect. We're going to target both Kanahawk and SBL. Sending Kanahawk to the graveyard to summon out 2 SBLs. Now again, because they have the same name and they're both Spiritual Beast Tamers, we could summon both even though they are the same name at the same time. And it's treated as being summoned once. So next, we're going to go ahead and we can pick up a Steeds here. Now depending on how much engine we have, we can opt for a Gaia line. And again, this can end on Gaia and Colossus. with Ulti Ray. So very strong. Then we can activate Ulti Connox effect, targeting SBL. Now here I like to do a raw search. So we're actually going to go and we're going to send both SBLs to the graveyard for a raw search. We're not going to do a tag out search. We're not going to Connox loop here. The reason why is putting Lauras in the graveyard are good for protection and for follow-up. So I love to do display. And then we're going to tag out into Wen and a Paleo. Having the protection and the follow-up in the graveyard will be really, really good. Which is good because if you go up against something like Tempai and they try to Lightning Storm your Ray Ratari or whatever, your Gaia Paleo, then you could just protect using Lara that's in the graveyard. Keep in mind, it's much better to have her in the graveyard than it is on the field, because if you have her on the field, then she will not check your monsters on the field if she's being marked for destruction herself. So just be careful of that. So like if they had Dark Hole or Regeki, then, you know, obviously it's not like Lightning Storm will destroy everything in attack and destroy everything in general. So just keep that in mind. Alright, here we'll just pick up another Conowalk just for a name. And then I could do a lot of different things here. So if I wanted to go Protoss, I would already have Protoss in accessibility for me. So I could do that. Here I'm going to activate a Paleo just to banish a name. Then we can activate Corridor to summon itself. If I wanted, like I said, if I wanted to go Protoss, I absolutely could. Like if I wanted to make a Protoss here, I absolutely could. Then I would just search that over the Corridor. If I want to make a rank 4 at this point, I absolutely could do that. Like a Baguska, but I don't want to. Here I want to make Colossus. Now, this is a very important point. You're going to say, Sean, you're absolutely crazy here. But just pay mind to me. From here, we're going to make Ulti Gaia using Ravatari. And you're going to go up to me and go, also summon your Conowalks in the middle so that way you don't play into Anima. And you go, what? Why'd you get rid of Ravatari? Why did you get rid of Ravatari? Why would you do that? Well, the reason why is because if you get rid of Ravatari, you now can summon Ravatari off your Nochi Drago because it's already banished. And Nochi Drago will protect your Gaia Paleo from being impermed. So if your opponent were to imperm you, then you can protect it. Also, if you hard open Elder Conowalk, Inheritance wouldn't have had to be used at the start, so you would have one more card in your hand. So it'd be a 2-card line, not a 3. So just keep that in mind. Now, what does this field do? Well, let's say we have 2 Ritual Beast cards in hand. Just as general. Remember, we searched this one. Remember, we searched this Conowalk. Keep that in mind. This is a search card. So, like I said, this is one guaranteed negate. Alright, so just keep that in mind. This negate is guaranteed. Alright, so if we have one other additional Ritual Beast card in the hand, if we open up like Elder Conowalk or Elder Pangu, then we'd have the addition, we could potentially have one additional Ritual Beast card in the hand. Assuming that we could have 2 negates or more. Colossus says, no searching. 2 negates, an Omni negate for 2, a Steed's Pop for 3, and yeah, that's like really strong. And an Ulti Ravatari, banish any card on the field. So very, very strong end board from Ritual Beast there. And again, that really puts your opponent in a situation where they're really not going to be able to play through this. Most decks cannot break this board. And they tell you straight out, unless you're like running Dark Rule no more, etc, etc. And the nice thing about this board is if you say, hey, I'm dead afraid my opponent's going to evenly match me, go for it! Gaia will negate it. We play around evenly because we have the Omni on the field. So we don't care about evenly matched either. So if you say, oh no, we lose to evenly matched, no, we do not. Let me ease your calmness and frustration before the frustration even begins. But that is your Elder Conowalk line. Alright. So there is going to be a part 3 to this because this video will be insanely long. So there is going to be a part 3 to this video, which is going to go over a few other extensive combos and continue on forth with playing through hand traps and some replays. So there is a part 3 coming. I have to cook dinner, so I couldn't finish this all. Now this game, okay. Here comes Conowalk line number 2. And this is where things start to get a bit cuckoo. Actually, Linda's in the hand. It's gonna make it a bit awkward. Let's not do it like this. Unless you magically give me like Elder Penguin beforehand. Actually, okay. Change this. Okay. This is Laura Pengu. Combo number 4. And to activate, this is just going to search Pangu. So just pretend we started off with this. I'm going to go Laura. I'm going to summon Rampangu. Activate Rampangu's effect. Here we're going to banish Ulti Ray to send a second Laura. Then, I'm going to banish 2 SPLs. Here we're going to activate the effect to summon OG Laura. Then, I'm going to contact Fuse into Ulti Kanalok. Now again, here, since we opened up the pedal fin, just to make this a bit easier, we're going to search Inheritance first. So again, if you open up a dead brick, search the Inheritance first. Now, anyway, continuing on, we're going to go ahead and now raw search, which means we just do the normal effect. We're not taking anything out. This is what we call a raw search. And send 2 to the grave to search Kanalok. Now, because we started off with SPL, we still get an additional normal summon. No Elder. Let's summon Kanalok. Kanalok effect. Here we can banish our Winda. Go into our second Ulti Kanalok, activate that effect to target our Pangu and our Elder. Tag out, make sure you take out the right Kanalok, don't take out the other one or you're gonna cry. And you're gonna be very, very upset. Don't do it. Here we can go ahead and get Wen or Laura. Bash the Paleo. Link off the Elder. And the Ulti Kanalok into Kim and Falcos. Here we can banish the Rampangu. Summon the Wen. Activate the Wen, summon the Apaleo. Activate the Apaleo to banish the Pangu that we would have lost, so keep that in mind. Next, we can do another tag out search. Back into Ulti Kanalok, activating Ulti Kanalok's effect to tag out Winda and Laura. And now we can summon Winda and Rampangu. Keep in mind, we still have another search after this, which is crazy. And then here, we can get Steeds. We can also use Rampangu's effect again. If we don't want to go Gaia, what we could do is we could send Gaia to send Laura, just for follow-up. Never a bad idea to have follow-up, just in case they wipe your field for some odd reason. Or you get super polyed by Tempai, which they will do anyway. Now, we can recycle Gaia here. So we can still go Gaia anyway. Now, if you want to go Protoss, go Protoss. If you want to go Corridor, to go Colossus, go Corridor. Like I said, that's just matchup preference at that point. I will link all these off. Into Ravatari. Raise effect. You can add back Wen. Keep in mind, Wen is not a soft. Wen is a soft once per turn. So if we want to summon from the banished pile, we absolutely can. If we don't have to. We want to get another search. We can just not do it. So that also works. Depends on really what you want to do. So like if I wanted to make Baguska here, I could. If I want to make Ravatari, I can. Here, I would probably say no, unless I specifically want to make Baguska. If I want to end on Baguska Colossus, I can. But if I do, which I probably would, because Baguska Colossus is generally good enough anyway. So if I want to end up Baguska Colossus, what I would do is I would summon it. If I don't want to, I would say no. Then I activate Corridor, return this, or if I didn't open up Shield Barrier, just return the Conowalk. Before somebody has a flipsy flopsy. So either way, make Colossus. Then I can make Baguska. Which again, this is really powerful. No searching, no effects on field. You've already floodgated them 2 different ways to 0. And even if I wanted to, and I wanted to go even further, I can make a Masquerena. Which again, keep in mind we also have Steeds. These 2 cards are unknowns. And we started off with Inheritance, so that's 1 less card in our hand. So we technically have 3. Again, very powerful. Again, like I said, if we went for the Gaia line, we would have 1 more search, so you would guarantee a Ritual Beast card in the end. So technically, you could have 2 Mat Gaia if you don't want to go for Baguska. But like I said, very powerful turn 1 here. IP into Colossus is really going to shut down a lot. Alongside, you have Steeds, which is going to be at least a pop here. And then we have a Banish. So like I said, there's a lot of different ways if you want to approach this. If you don't want to make IP, then you have a pop for 3. But that's IP to SP as well. So, yep. Okay. So that's Laura Pengu. Alright, I'm going to go over about 2 more. I want to get Elder Pengu. And then I'll get the rest in the next video. Perfect! See, the game listened to me. Thank you, game, for being so generous. Alright. Thank you for being so generous. Okay. Quick lesson on Shifter. Do not use Shifter first. As tempting as it is, you could Shifter later in the combo. So if you open up Shifter, you may be tempted to say, hey, let's Shifter first. The only why I would do that is like if I opened up like Pengu with a bunch of text. But even then, it's like dangerous because you have to know that they have Ash or not or whatever. But if you feel like you're going to do nothing, if you feel like the turn's going to go nowhere, then you may want to Shifter first. And the reason why is because if they have like a Maxi, then you can force it out because they can't Shifter on the Maxi. And they don't know that you don't have combo, so you're going to force that in Maxi anyway. So just keep that in mind. But if you have combo, absolutely do not Shifter first. This was abundantly clear when Gamma was in the meta because you would get really punished if you Shifter first under Gamma. But you also, if they Ash under Shifter, you got to be careful because they can end your turn. If you open up like a Pengu or a Laura Pengu line and they Shifter under it and then they Ash you, then it can end your turn. But in a standard line, like I said, try not to Shifter first. If you want to Shifter, do it later in the combo. Okay, anyway. We're going to banish our Ray. Like I said, if you have second Kimmy, you do that. Then we're going to go ahead and contact these off into Ulti-Conowalk. Then we're going to activate this. Summoning Elder and Pengu. And with Rampengu, you're searching Laura. So Conowalk, we search when. Rampengu, it's going to be Laura. Next, we're going to activate the effect of Rampengu, sending Kana to the graveyard. Here we are going to make Ulti-Kim and Falcos. Banishing Laura. Summoning Laura. And we're chain blocking. SBL is going chain link 1. 2 simultaneous triggers means we can chain block. So they can't respond with Ash's negation directly to the Laura summoning out of the deck. So we are good there. Next, we're going to summon Wind out of the deck. Activate Conowalk to banish another SBL. Then at this point, we can make Banshee. Banshee effect. The next video, which will come out either tomorrow at some point or Monday, will illustrate how to play around the Nibiru. That's going to be next, and getting through hand traps. Also with a few other extra combo lines as well. Okay. So next we're going to go ahead, and again, like I said, if you want to go up against Tempai, just do the other thing. So like it's not that big of a deal. You could just search the Protos. So, like I said, does not need to be that big of a deal. Okay, now you summon this. And now, again, we get to make our Ray play. Oh, I meant to banish Kanawok. I should have linked that off first before we did that, but okay. Alright, I'll note this later on. We summoned Nochi Drago too soon. In all the explaining, Shaw made a boo-boo. Basically, we denied ourselves one search. Basically, what you want to do is you want to make Ray before we go Nochi Drago. That was the big boo-boo we did. So, what we did is make Ray first. And then after you make Ray, then we summon Nochi Drago by banishing the Kanawok. Like I said, you want to have another pile. I was talking so much that I wasn't really paying attention, but just keep that in mind. Make Nochi last. Also, if you want to see 100% the correct line on stream, then I can absolutely show that to you. What it would change. Alright, anyway, we'll go Corridor. Actually, I could tell you too. It would just give us another search. It would give us another search and would set up a better variant of an IP play. Because we'd have another tag out and then, especially if you wanted to Protoss, then you would have a Pyro on the field. It's better to do that, especially if you're going to do a Protoss line, but yeah. Okay. Just keep that in mind. Have another search. You'd be in a better spot. But yeah, like I said, largely the same place. And having another level 4, you would have access to Baguska that way too. So we could also do the same thing we would do with Baguska. We would end up having another 4 like the Pangu on the field. And then we can make Baguska, add back like a level 4 for Ratari and basically do that. So, like I said before, you'd be in that better spot when we add back off Ray. We do the Kana Orc, and then we can just basically do the same line as we did off Elder Kana. So, yeah. But like I said, the Paleo kind of like goofed that up a bit. But, you know, yeah. Other than that, we were chilling, and we were, you know, fine. Yeah. Okay. Alright. So that's Elder and Pangu. Alright, this is the last one I'm going to show you today. This is the Kana Orc alternative line. Actually, did I just do the other one? No, because then that would be a little bit more. Alright, so we will, well, never mind that. Pretend we didn't activate that. And activate Kana Orc, we're going to banish SBL. SBL, we're going to go ahead and summon our Rampengu. Rampengu effect, we're going to go ahead and we're going to send Wen. Now, this again, you need Colossus. And this, you do not need Petalfin to make this work, but you do need the Colossus package. Next, we're going to activate this, send this, and this time we're going to send Wen. It's a little bit weird, but you'll get the hang of it really quick. This will end on Gaia, Colossus, and Ray. So we're going to detach Kana Orc. We're going to add our flag. Adding Corridor. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to make Cross Sheep. We're going to summon Ratari by banishing Wen and Kana Orc. Trigger Cross Sheep's effect to revive back the flag. Now you can kind of see where this is going. Now all these are going to make Ulti Ratari. Now to show you this is a one card combo, I'm not going to search, because you would use regular Alara here in this combo, but I'm not going to search regular Alara just to prove a point. I'm going to summon Wen into Kana Hawk. Kana Hawk effect is going to banish SBL. I'm going to make Ulti Kana Hawk. Now here, we would generally search Laura. We already have it in hand. If you already opened up Laura, search Deeds. If you didn't open up Laura, I know I said I was going to search, but I ended up doing it. Search Laura if you already have it. If not, search Deeds or search another negate that you want. Depends. Whatever you want. Okay.
The duel's still going. You going now?
Yes. Alright, next we're going to make our Ultikim and Falcos. Ultikim and Falcos effect. Keep in mind this would be in hand. We never really activated that. Okay. Oh, anyway. Ultikim and Falcos effect. We're going to banish anything except for Ray Watari. Summoning Laura. Laura effect. Revive back Ray. This is all of one card. We're going to use Laura. Into Gaia. And then return back whatever you can return. No Drago if you so heartily desire. I mean, keep it Falcos. So heartily desire. And then we make our Colossus. That's a one-card combo developed by, I think it was Chu. And that is so strong. So that's a guaranteed negate because we have a guaranteed search. If this was in the hand, well, it's not a guaranteed negate because we need to search one card to ensure it. You would search Laura there. But depending on how many cards that are left in your hand, you generally, how many Ritual Beast names you're in your hand, you could go for this line. But that's like a one-card Conalog line that ends on that. So that could be like generally like two Omnis plus a Banish and a Colossus. This would probably be Laura that you would search, so that's something that you would have to debate upon. But yeah, that's your one-card line. Okay, so there you go. That is the lines we are covering. Next, part 3, we will do Laura Conahawk. We will do a few other lines. Elder Laura I'll cover. And our anti-Nibiru combos. That's part 3. What to do on the shifter. That's part 3. Okay, so the shifter one we might have to do on Dueling Book. I'm going to warn you in advance. And the reason being is because if we don't do that on Dueling Book, it may take me 500 ants to find shifter in the open ants to really show you what we can do on the shifter. Or I'll just show that combo on stream one way or the other. Either way, we will get there. And I will show you also what to do on the Draw and Lock. But if you like the video, please like, comment, subscribe. That would be greatly appreciated. And yeah, we're probably going to do it. I have Dueling's content coming tomorrow and Monday likely with the selection box and the anniversary. But I'm hoping by Tuesday, Wednesday, we're going to hop into Rated instantly and start getting onto that. So yeah, until next time, make sure you like, comment, sub. Huge shout out to all those guys that I mentioned before. And peace. Bye, YouTube.